Tengen Uzui was considering many things by those who knew him well, including being skilled and flamboyant member of the Demon Slayer course. However, while he may have been known for his extravagant lifestyle and boisterous personality, one thing that he was certain not considering was cheating, backstabbing, or confining husband. Despite his reputation as the flashy sound Hashira, Tengen made it clear to his wives, Suma, Makio, and Hinatsuru, that loyalty, honesty, and respect were the paramount of any relationship. He wanted them to understand that he's devoted to them, would be unwavering, and that he would always strive to be the faithful and trustworthy partner. It was already late in the evening, the sky painted with warm hues of the setting sun, when Tengen bid his farewell to Inuo and made his way back home. With every step he took, the shadows grew larger, casting a tranquil atmosphere around him. Upon sliding the soji open, his wives, their eyes sparkling with curiosity and affection, were gathered in the cozy living room, waiting eagerly for his return. And before he could even make himself feel at home, they bombarded him with world-winding questions, eager to know what went down in Yoshiwara and about this mysterious yin. "So, were you able to find her?" Suma was the first to ask. Tengen sighed softly and gave a small smile before closing the door. "Yeah." There was a long silence as Suma, Hinatsuru, and Makio all shared a questionable gazes at each other. "Well?" Makio broke the silence, gesturing for him to give them more than just a simple answer. Tengen only cocked his head slightly as he arched a brow. "Well, what? What happened?" Makio asked. "Were you able to talk to her?" "And did you tell her how you felt?" Suma inquired. Tengen idly pulled his bejeweled headband off his head. The train of jewels running down from his headband swayed as he made himself comfortable whilst running a hand through his silver locks and scratching his scalp. He was clearly starting to give them an answer. "Tengen-sama," Suma whined. "Talk to us. What happened between you two?" "Yeah, did she just reject you or something?" asked Makio. Once again, Tengen hesitant before finally settling himself down in an attempt to gather his thoughts. Suma, Hinatsuru, and Makio felt their patience wearing thin, their annoyance bubbling beneath the surface as they waited for an explanation from their husband. Sensing their building frustration, Tengen took a moment to compose himself, closing his eyes and taking a deep breath before telling them. "All right," he began cautiously, his voice tinged in anticipation. "I'll tell you what happened, but you promise me you won't get mad what it is I'm about to say." The weight of his words hung thin in the air, causing the three women to exchange concerned glances. Their brows furrowed with worry. Uncertainty clouded their expressions, each wondering what revelation was about to unfold. Their collective gaze returned to their husband, a silent agreement pausing between them as they nodded in unison, signaling their readiness to hear the truth, no matter how difficult it may be. The room filled with a somber tension, anticipation mingling with anxiety as they braced themselves for the disclosure that was about to be shared. It was a moment frozen in time, a control instinct that would only forever change the dynamics of the relationship. "Okay, so I did talk to her," he stated, "and her name is Yin." Silence. "And?" Suma pressed. "She gave me an invitation." Silence. Once again. "And?" Hinatsuru asked. "And I'd accept the invitation without hesitation, so I reassured her that I would come back to Yoshiwara to visit her, promising to spend time with her at a brothel where she works tomorrow night." He exclaimed calmly. "Wait, you what?" exclaimed Makio, her eyes wide in disbelief at the unexpected realization. "You're going to a brothel?" Suma inquired, her voice filled with concern. It was abruptly clear that Suma and Makio were noticeably discomforted by the nation of Tengen's venturity back in Yoshiwara. Yes, they're happy that Tengen wanted to see Yin, that girl had unwittingly betrothed his heart, but the idea of him spending the night in some dirty brothel where he would be constantly surrounded by numerous women did not sit well with them. The atmosphere discomfort risen in their demeanor, their expedientials betraying a sense of uneasy and disdain at the mere mention. Tengen-sama, you can't go to a brothel. I refuse to let you be in the presence of so many women, Suma argues. Suma's right. Courtesan or not, no husband of mine is going to be surrounded by a bunch of home records, Makio hisses. We don't want to lose you, Tengen-sama. Suma whimpers, leaning into him, and Tengen instantly responds, Avia wrapping his arms around her. He remains silent, listening to Suma and Makio rant when Hinatsu decide to intervene. What Makio and Suma are trying to say, Tengen-sama, is that we understand your feelings for Yin, but we don't appreciate the idea of you going to a brothel, she exclaims. We love you, Tengen-sama, but we don't want to lose you. She flashes him the most adorable, soulful puppy dog eyes he's ever seen as she pouts. Is this Yin-chan really worth it? Don't you love us as much as we love you? Of course I do. I care about all three of you, more than anything. You know, I would never do anything to hurt you, Tengen said. The sincerity in his voice was undeniable. His gaze moved from one girl to the next, as if trying to convey the depth of his emotion for each and every one of them. But I'm also fond of Yin-chan, which is why I want to see her again, he continued. His words tinged with a hint of longing. The three of them got quiet once the words left his mouth as Suma, Makio, and Hinatsu exchanged glances, each processing his words in their own way, their thoughts masked behind careful composed expressions. I understand you all disagree with me going to a brothel, but you must have faith with me. Please, I just want to see Yin again. Besides, I sort of promised her a date. A date? Suma immediately perked up. Then why can't you just take her out to a fancy restaurant or something? Damn, baby's girl's got a point, Tengen inwardly thought. Figured it'll be flamboyant to me to visit her domain where I could maybe take the time to know her better, he exclaims. Hold on, so you didn't confess? Hinatsu inquired. No, he inwardly admitted. I didn't understand how I was feeling in the moment. Hell, I also had no idea how to approach her or what words to say. Setting his jaw with determination, he continued, his voice gaining strength. You guys shouldn't judge her solely based on her profession. Just because she works at a brothel doesn't mean who she really is. The truth, I thought that way too. But Yin, she's different. Her radiant soul with the depths that go beyond the surface. He looked ahead with a glimpse of hope in his eyes, a fire burning within to defend her honor and truth. I just know it with every fiber of my being. And just how, pray tell, can you be so sure? You hardly even know the girl, Tengen, Makio scoffed. Because I can feel it in here, Tengen said, pointing towards his chest where his heart was, his cheeks turning a faintest shade of red. Suma leaned forward and placed a hand on his cheek. Aw, Tengen-sama, she gushed. You guys know I would never leave you. It wouldn't be very flamboyant if I did, let alone a man. But I know I don't always say much since I prefer actions over words, but I love all three of you more than anything, Tengen said softly, his voice filled with sincerity and emotions. His voice trailed off, a moment of vulnerability shining in his eyes as he struggled to accomplish his deepest feelings. Keep going, Tengen, Hinatsu inquired. Despite Tengen's reserved nature, his actions always spoke values. A silent treatment to his undeserving devotion, it was rare to see and hear him express his feelings. And they really wanted him to be honest and open. I want you guys to be okay with this, which is why I'm asking for permission. I'm only going to be there to see Yin and no one else, because I want her to be your fourth. Sima finished for him with a smile and, well, a giggle. Tengen smiles softly. Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm sure hope you guys would agree to the possibility of joining our polygrammary. After a moment, the three women finally agreed. If it makes you happy, Tengen-sama, then go for it, Suma says happily. Okay, Suma. Wait, does this Yin even know you're married and have 3 wives? Makio asked. No, but I'll tell her when the time comes. But for the time being, I only wish to court her, he says before standing. And what would you do if she refuses? Hinatsu asked. At that, Tengen only smiles before making his way towards the hallway that led to the bath. You'll just wait and see. We want, he says before turning to face them with a mischievous grin. Anyways, care to join me in the bath? Sorry, I was fangirling at the end.